To my channel once again. I remain my very self, Odunchison Victory. And today we'll be talking about something very interesting, and that is the misconception of Valentine's Day. And I have with me my very friend and pastor, Pastor Chidebere Osigwe, and he'll be talking about the misconception of Valentine's Day, and he'll also be giving a brief introduction of the origin of Valentine's Day. I hand over the mic to him. Welcome very much, sir. One.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Udum Chisom Victory, for this opportunity. My name is Osigwe Chidebere, and I'll be talking about the misconception of St. Valentine's Day as well as the origin of the day. So, firstly, I want to start with the origin of St. Valentine's Day. I know a lot of us know about St. Valentine's Day or Lover's Day as it's been called, but not very many of us have taken time to look at the origin. So briefly, I'm just going to give us the brief um, origin of this day. Now, according to web resources and according to Britannica, the day St. Valentine's Day is a day 14th of February that is said to commemorate the death of St. Valentine. Now, this said St. Valentine or Valentine was a priest, a Roman priest, as well as a physician. And during the reign of Emperor Cletus II in the Roman Empire, he gave an order that soldiers should not get married. So, but we found out that this Valentine, the same Valentine that we're talking about, was secretly wedding the Roman soldiers. And then as he was wedding the people, so many soldiers were coming to him for him to wed them secretly. So it was later discovered by the emperor, and the emperor gave him up to a jailer to put him in the prison. And eventually, this jailer had a daughter that was blind, so and a physician, which is Saint Valentine, he was able to heal her of the illness of the blindness, and eventually they both fell in love, and he was said to be executed on 14th of February, that was 270 AD. And eventually, a night before his execution, he wrote a letter to the said jailer's daughter and addressing it Your Valentine. And eventually, he was executed on the 14th of February 270 AD. So that was a day, 14th of February, was now set aside to mark the remembrance of this Saint Valentine. But in addition to that, between the 12th to 15th of February was a Roman festival known as Lupercalia, which was a celebration in accordance or in remembrance or in thanksgiving to the god of fertility and of agriculture. So what happened was that when the church gained some political authority and then power, when the Roman Catholic Church came into place, and then that festival of the Lupercalia was being replaced by remembrance or the St. Valentine's Day, which is on the 14th of February. But along the line, it was seen that the festival or the day was being misappropriated or mismanaged, and then which led it had to be removed, which led to the removal of the day. So presently, according to or by the Roman Catholic Church calendar, the day of St. Valentine's celebration is not there because of a lot of misconception. So this was the origin, or this is the origin of the St. Valentine's Day. So I hope I've been able to enlighten you a bit. You can still, of course, you can check up online, check out Britannica, check out the encyclopedia. Just Google it, you will see more of this story concerning St. Valentine's Day. So also I'll be talking about the misconception. Now, having seen the origin of the said St. Valentine, I'm talking about the misconception. There is a saying that goes that when the use of a thing is not known, that abuse becomes inevitable. And you believe very well that there have been a lot of abuse concerning St. Valentine's Day. And then what we see today is not what it was meant to. It was meant to honor somebody, a priest, that was, secretly wedding soldiers, which was as well a physician that was healing people. That was what the day was initially meant to be, in honor or in remembrance of Saint Valentine. But we find out that today what is being displayed as Lovers' Day or Valentine's Day is not what is meant to be. So there's a lot of misconception. So I just want to quickly talk about those misconception, the conception you have about Valentine and what is not and what is meant to be. Now, Valentine, looking from the origin, is not a time where young people, especially young people in this our generation, involved in all manner of things that are not presentable or palatable. Now, I'm going to talk from the Christian point of view. It is not a time where you engage in activities that are not required. It's not a time where, as a young man, you try to impress. You find out that nowadays a lot of young men are trying to impress and they go extra mile. Some go ahead borrowing, some stealing just to impress their girlfriends, to impress their female friends on the sale said Valentine Day. While for the young ladies, there are pressures upon them. Some you find out that some people that have been virgins, they become disvirgined even on St. Valentine's Day. Just a pressure is on them to show, oh, I love this young man, and then let me just prove. And then the pressure is coming from the young man, but today is Valentine, is it that you don't love me, show me love. And at the rest, as a result of that, you see a lot of things, a lot of atrocity going on. So one of the misconceptions, just like I've said, it's not a time where people engage in all manner of immorality. It's not a time to engage in illicit sex. It's not a time to engage in fornication or adultery, because it even is prevalent even in married people. You find out that some men and some women on that day they have secret affairs with outsiders, all in the name of Valentine or Lovers' Day. So it's not a time for us to engage in anything that is sinful or anything that is not cordial, not acceptable. It is not a time where, as a young lady, you give yourself, you become loose, and just for a morsel of bread, like the scripture will say, you sell yourself. So it's not a time where you sell yourself because of money, because of drink, because of food, because of iPhone or whatsoever. It's not a time for that. It's not a time where, as a young man, you desperately know some people, and you find out that some people they say, I don't have val, I don't have a val, and as a result of that, some of our young people, they are shy and timid, they become oppressed or become shy. you know it's not a time for that. It's just like every normal day. Initially, it was meant to commemorate the death of Saint Valentine, to remember his efforts, that he carried his legacy, or what he did when he was alive. So it's not a time where what we see that is happening in this our world today. It's not a time for that. It's not a time for jamboree. And like I said, I always speak from the Christian point of view. It's not a time where we showcase lust and infatuation. But if we must promote love, let it be love that is unfeigned. Let it be love that is unconditional, the Zoe type of love. The kind of love you find out that the Saint Valentine, the kind of love he showed, is not a bad love. He was helping out the soldiers, he was secretly wedding them. It's not a kind of evil love. So if we must engage in it, or if we must do it, let us not be misguided. Let us do it in the right pattern, not turning the whole story around. So I thank you very much for your time. I'm sure that my viewers, you have been able to get something even from the origin of St. Valentine's Day, as well as some of the misconceptions we have. So I want to sum it up that Valentine is not a time to engage in illicit sex. It's not a time to engage in fornication or adultery. It's not a time to revel, partying, and all the rest, especially as a child of God or as a Christian. Remember that this channel is geared towards raising future best husbands and wives, people that will breed the next generation of young men and young women. So I am sure that my viewers, you have been educated and enlightened concerning Valentine, its origin, as well as the misconception behind it. Thank you very much. I remain Osigwe Chidebere. Until next time.
Hey, thank you very much, sir. We are so grateful. Thank you for the lecture. I believe we've learned something today. So please, for you to be a future best husband or wife, you have to make sure that you do not misuse this Valentine's Day. Don't go into things because others are going into it. Ensure that everything you do, you have to give account of that particular thing in one way or the other. Okay? Thank you very much. Please remain safe. Please let's come together and do the right thing. Thank you and God bless you. I remain my very self, Odunchison Victory. Please subscribe to my channel. See you next week. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.